I mentioned the cocoon, big academia, big pharma, big agriculture, big media, all these things, satanic entertainment system on top of this stuff, and just the awareness of it is fine, and then being able to have a functional understanding of your health and then radiate that. I'm having the clarity now. Now here's the clarity. It's like, okay, I was so addicted to the flavors and textures of sugar, meat, wheat, dairy, and sugar, growing up, raised on those things. I see the effect it has on folks now, the effect it had on me. I see the effects I'd see the effects it had on me through the effects it has on other folks as you're phasing it out. And so you're seeing just how much of a lack of willpower control that a lot of people have because of the need to eat something before you can do anything else. That's addiction. So if you can't say no to something, you're a victim to it. There's all types of things I'm also working on. It's also time to be able to take things seriously, because I thought I could never take it serious, being born into a hotbed of ignorance about the actual condition and the stakes, being that realistic. So, for example, a spiritual teacher, his mother in the 70s was a Black Panther. They were making clothes in the 80s, not watching TV, making clothes, eating all organic food in the 80s, understanding these folks are not to be trusted. And that's the Black Panther Party, and there's a place for that in more science or civics as well. And to this day, it's still a real thing, but though they weren't wrong in so many places. And still, things are still escalating. Like, so apparently someone was allegedly, shot a few days ago, right? You got this Captain Kirk situation. It's a little over a year, and some months. There's the false imprisonment, this kidnap survival situation where I got a fair look at that level of ignorance that will harm you. And so it's a hazard. It's a very hazardous level of ignorance about the truth. I'm sitting here like, yo, I was saying it years ago, but I'm like, damn, now I'm like, do I actually have to go to university and write up a bunch of peer-reviewed stuff or do research in a field about spiritual science and the soul in order to make that apparent to a specific, groups, like the certain governments, because there's soulless decisions that are being made on a day-to-day. Soulless decisions being made on the day-to-day, though. If you can find a way to transcend it, it's not even that. Nothing's ever gonna get in the way of you actually being confident in alignment with your true nature. So this congruence, it's charisma. Right, so things could try to get in your way and confuse you, but it's not really gonna have much more of an effect as it ever did, because the light of the awareness continues to grow. And so you get the feedback where you're flinching and you're having fear in your body, though you're not confused why that's there. You can objectively see that as an inheritance, and you have the internal resources to transmute and heal that into your power. So it's just more wisdom and spiritual power. Maturing, though, means calibrating not only the message, my state of being, my mind, calibrating the state of being in mind. I could have been hypercharged, it could have been in overdrive, still could be in overdrive due to some unconscious psychic reactions, developing that have been developed about a traumatic environment, because it's the trauma economy. All the illnesses, anytime I was sick, say I was sick 10 times, but I'm saying, right, I said sick, but I'm never saying sickness like it's a real thing like that. Let's say I'm like, Mom, I'm sick. Say that I said that 10 times when I was, between the ages of 10 or say 0 and 10, right? With the naturopathic herbs, just the alternative perspective, maybe it would have been once or twice, sure. You're born, how many times was I injected with vaccines? You're born, to this day, it's still erythromycin, which is some sort of like STD cream that they put on babies' eyes to hospitals. And so it's a level of ignorance we're transcending every day, any day. It could be the singularity of, of the quantum reality for you personally. I was talking to someone earlier today about how what I'm going through with this mind-blowing experience, what I'm going through with this mind-blowing instance of learning how to use and vibe with generative AI, for generating videos and audio, and I'm like, oh dang, it's like, because I'm thinking, man, I would have paid like $300 for this as cover art. Like, I got this cover art idea, and then I just spent like $1 or $2, right, in credits, just to render 3 pics with an idea that I had. I put the idea into this chat thing. You're like, hey, generate this prompt for this, so I can put that prompt into here that will generate this prompt to generate a picture. You could generate this prompt to generate a video, or generate this prompt to generate a picture. And then you could take a video and you could have a prompt. You could generate a prompt for a video to be generated, or you could take a picture and generate a video from a picture. Even if that was sort of out of order, sort of whacked, you see the excitement about that. I'm like, and there's just one application in so many other areas. So could use some legalese assistance. Perhaps could be writing up, serving some folks soon. I didn't think, just being able to ask questions, certain legal questions, and get answers, have conversations about what to do and how to word things with specific documents legally. There's another just practical, personal application of quantum computing. With AI or whatever, I'm using the cloud AI, so there's cloud, Perplexity, and Gemini. I'm using the cloud. So this is just going to keep happening, and so it's going to be saving me time, and then I'm generating value virtually out of thin air compared to how much you really could make from this stuff. It's like you only to use these platforms, there's fees, but it's not that much. So even medicine and healing yourself, right? So, and the job, so making money in general, working in this direction, still finding joy in clocking in at the PlayStation workplace. I'm at the PlayStation clocking in, enjoying the moment increasingly through the months, weeks, days, breaths, heartbeats. Increasingly, because wherever you go, there you are. So it's really being in the body and the breath. I've mentioned this in multiple videos before. It's gamified for me because it's my quality of experience is improving in phases, like levels. So there's always something, there's always more, there's always something greater. Spirit is the breath, so it's integrally connected through the physiology to in the mind to the spirit. Doesn't matter what you're doing, you could be on the clock doing whatever. Would you want to be there forever? If your mind kept expanding and you're getting more energy, you having more ideas to do other stuff in your side hustles or in your off time, it wouldn't make sense though if you're not going, expanding or moving through these levels, ascending, and just stimulating or coping through the week, because it's this new paradigm of having energy, where instead of like a cup that's partially empty and you're filling it up with physical stimulants, it's just like you're tapped into the spiritual potential, you're overflowing, and then your precision nutrition, you have everything in order. So, and then you're consuming energy towards an abundance. It's a surplus. It's actually an ocean of energy and experiences and conversations, right, that you could have with folks and yourself. These things feed you. It's nourishing. It's alignment with your soul, even in your dreams, experiences, memories. It feeds you, could power you, could give you energy. So, so this lifestyle, it's a systematic way of going about it, and how. So there's dynamics to it when you know those. and how it works. And so you're refining your process and how that's working personally for yourself. So with the precision nutrition, you're eating less and less. You're reducing. It's a reduction-based lifestyle, and then getting off of meat, wheat, dairy, and sugar, and then fasting. When you're getting away from salt and these foods, you really are eating less, needing less. Stomach shrinks to the original size, and then you're properly mineralizing, supplements, hydrating. Fruits, liquids. Sure, I've mentioned the list of things. I'm not going to say it, go through it now. So from here though, it's like, so now you tapped in and you feel lighter, you feel greater. This bliss in general of how it is to just experience inhabiting the body, because this is life as far as being an ecstatic experience. You're in communion with all it is. Even the body is a marriage between the spirit and flesh. Let's say it's like this communion. It should. A lot of folks, when they smoke the bufo or the 5-MeO DMT, it's like, it is like bliss or orgasmic, energy all over. That's how some folks might say that. And so it's this opening to it, or how much of a resistance or an acceptance can you have to all that is. The DMT is the most extreme example, the 5-MeO DMT. But it shows, because it's no different than the chemical that's secreted in the pituitary or pineal when you're asleep at night having dreams. But whether or not you're going to remember those dreams, that depends on how clear your vessel is here and so, conditioned, let's say it is, for that type of stuff. So your field is continuing to grow. It's clarifying. You're having more leverage on reality and more influence even, but you're not really trying to influence anything though. You could if you wanted to, but your field is clearing up, becoming more calm, having more ability to leverage reality, cause effects, from the still point, instead of from some contrived place or some place where you think you are, where you're coping to be at, I guess. Coping with things to be at, just actually be. Let's see about wrapping up this video too at a certain point, though. It is a high maintenance situation. It is a multi-dimensional, been saying hyperdimensional craft. So the body, sure, and then the mind and spirit are in different places. And so you're, like I said, leverage your ability to regulate or manage the movements or dynamics of those. So I'm not saying control these bodies, right? Though it's a vehicle. So let's say drive, your ability to drive these bodies, or drive consciousness. Let's say your ability to drive consciousness. It should be just as exciting as getting a new dirt bike or something to learn about breath work, or qigong, or energy work, or feng shui, or acupressure, or certain martial arts, right? It's the body, it's operating the body and working with it. But where and when can this be the most profitable? So wherever you're at, if you're in general, the working class population, let's say working, I call it play, but in general working. It's not just the breath, it's the being detoxed, or just knowing how to balance your pH out at the very least. Right? You don't even need to be detoxed. You just know how to if you know what it is when you have an acidic pH and an alkaline one, and how to drink the alkaline water when you want it, or how to eat the cucumber when you want that. Or you counteract some spicy stuff, right? Or some wheat. Meat is the most acidifying thing, so how do you counteract these things? If you're not even aware of the pH and monitoring it at all, and you go days like this, your mood turns into personality traits, and before you know it, it's a personality trait. Could be a deeper thing, part of character, though it's not even real, it's not even you, and it's so anger, fear, worry, they're diseases. Okay. Victimhood is not normal. Okay, it doesn't mean it's not common. Just because it's common doesn't mean it's not normal. Or just because it's not normal doesn't mean it's not common. let's say it like that. So, sip some water real quick. We're knowing how to stay on top of the pH alone, even hydration. Your time clocked in over weeks or whatever, it's gonna be way different. And this burnout thing, this demoralization thing I brought up earlier, it's just not a big deal. So I'm looking at it like a professional athlete might look at the performance in film. You know, I watch these videos too in the same way, but it's not really film. It's film as far as my memories of how I felt and why I felt the way that I felt because of the biochemistry, what was introduced in the body. I know why I feel because of which specific thing, because I'm that sensitive to it. And when folks are cut off from the inner sensitivity or just don't care because they're convinced they don't matter in that sense that much, you know, that numbness is there. So other habits, you know, even the system, it's honeypotting people in this direction, right? To just be totally cut off from your intuition, right? The sense of who you are. So you can just be driven or hijacked by the foreign policy establishments, you know, blob, sure, and then in general, you know, for a long time, military operations, mind control, you know, MK Ultra alone, like it's incredible seeing trance states. And I have an ability to move through different states of trance or brainwave states at will with the breathing and breath work. And I've been able to do that constantly, and then also learn about letting go and trauma healing. So trauma-informed mindfulness and the art of letting go, trauma release, trauma healing. In specific instances, when it really matters, a room of 10 people, you're the only one that left untraumatized because you know how to let go. It's your body. Why can't you release that and, you know, regulating your own physiology, because the mind is the body. So just knowing trauma release and breathing when it matters, it's functional for me, and so it works, and I can channel this into content. Letting go and the brainwave states of trance initiated by foreign military operations to subvert the collective unconscious. What? Okay, so you see the behavioral operations, you know, the manipulation, the mental, emotional, spiritual manipulation, the rollout of these plans that have, you know, been going on for quite some time. It's military conquest, global military conquest. You saw the papers, the documents. Yeah, I said MK Ultra. And there's COINTELPRO, and then in general, behold a white horse. People are reading at the time. You can't put down your house with 3 kids in a law when you're at a firm in this place, you know, to read behold a pale white horse in the year 2000, right? Right before, you know, it's just though these things, they're all leading up, and I'm pretty sure the book might have came out a little later than 2000. It brings up, you know, 2001, all that stuff. So the documents, the papers, MK Ultra, the efforts put into manipulating folks' state of consciousness, and if you can connect that research to your experience now, in the moment, your environment, the folks around you, you now have way more power as far as leverage. You know, so you use this word leverage, an ability to respond. Okay, so this responsibility, because you now have this awareness, and then you're moving through with a mastery even of your own physiology and mind, hypnosis. Okay, you can hypnotize yourself to do anything. People have been hypnotized to do all sorts of feats. You know, folks lift cars with the adrenaline. You know, people might not feel anything in a surgery because it's possible, you know, with trance states. So moving through those, seeing that in others, and as a behavioral operative, being able to, let's say, I'm not going to say edit, I'm not going to say, it's not edit, it's not influence, adjust, right? So with your hardcore skill set, or whatever hardcore skill sets you have as a behavioral operative, with some degree of functional mastery of hypnosis, you're making important adjustments in people's behavioral approach to how they're being, okay, with suggestion, even through hypnotic suggestion. And I've been doing this to myself. It's, you know, as a natural, not even putting words to it. A lot of people do this naturally without putting words to it. Then also I've been hypnotized by, you know, multiple people in different, you know, instances, right? But, you know, Marcel Klein, again, he is the best hypnotist in the world right now. Okay, and so that was a real experience. I've had multiple live experiences with Marcel, and then also online. If I go to his channel, it's gonna change my day. You know, there's a lot of content like that. You know, if you go there, you know, they're still posting continually, having clients all the time, going on tour, doing events. You know, but you're not gonna watch, you know, because it's not really that time and place for all this stuff. You know, tons of teachers still. So I'm saying it's like I feel lucky with the working models I've been able to be somehow exposed to, and I could collect them, and you know, just doing the alchemy and synthesis, you know, as this unique spiritual science develops, because it's not what anyone specifically is saying, it's what's percolating here in a multiple disciplinary aspect. So you can't put a price on the bliss or the clarity. I'm looking at the Zen because it's just like, man, I feel it in the body, like my body's like, dude, no. and then it's occurring to so many folks. I know they get those pangs, but there's no connect, and so they'll just keep going forward with all kinds of stuff like that, you know, because I don't know if it's tested on animals. I don't know if there's anything else besides nicotine in it. I don't know where the salt's from, what kind of effect that could have, because this is like a pro-vax lobbying environment, you know, that has to, that approves these sorts of products like the Zen and stuff. I did the Zen epigenetics review, and so this is just a sort of second note. You know, I brought the thing out in the last vid, and then I'm just really saying to put a bow on it. It's not worth it, and then. Yeah, I might find some other way to get nicotine. At the same time, I'm just gonna go with the tobacco, and then also, it's not a big deal. And then it's the small stuff. It's a pro-vax lobbying environment, you know. But the folks in general, they're smart at a collective level, where they're gonna look up the ingredients, so they have to have integrity to some point. So even that, I'm not casting that out. I'm just saying. The clarity and health, I've been so tapped into it when I'm losing it due to, you know, in these other processes of experimenting with it, just for entertainment and exploration and in the spiritual science too, because I'm seeing what other people are going through, right? And then it does, you know, it does give you some stuff. You know, I want to get into some of the surgical work as far as drawing, just surgical level of like precision with drawing. So. But do you need a Zen? Could I just be taking magnesium? So it's a lot clarifying things. I don't even need to ask myself these questions very much. Moving forward, learning how to vibe with vibe with the ChatGPT model in the cloud or whatever. This is really like a spare time. It's an autonomy thing. So money, strategic planning, autonomy, health, wealth, business, higher purpose. It's functional here now. I'm saying the feeling of clarity and bliss, I have it in this moment where it's being channeled into this level, this type of value, it's being channeled into value or conscious value about this video. And then I can only talk about it if I'm raving, because I am raving because of the high off your own supply, or just the emotional baseline that rises gradually, and then you have an opportunity, you have resources all around you with the internet and AI. So tapping into the conversation, even on a social, political level, and then you know, also doing the research all the time. You know, I'm personally, it seems like I'm an extremist, and then I'm also the minority for the new world, though, in the next phase of awakening, this would be very common place combo. A lot of these topics would be like a kindergartner's talking about it. Like, why would I have to talk about your pH thing like this? And so this is still for a general audience. I'm saying there's this new age, and then the quantum computing, the singularity of information processing with that, and how spiritually it already happened. We're all waking up or coming to the realization forward into the future. So Western occultism, alternative spirituality. I turned the video off right after letting you know it's important you work with me. But I'm gonna turn this video off after I let you know how you gotta probably get a session. We should probably just book a consultation now. But so I'm gonna say that stuff, then turn off the video, put it together, edit it a bit, probably not. Just put it together, do a little clippy here and there, probably. Upload it. And I'm me still. And I said it, there you are, wherever you go. This is a earned state of consciousness, and you're never permanently balanced. Like, oh, once I'm balanced, it's you have all these resources and systems for keeping yourself at a certain angle or tilt while you're spinning, where your axis is giving you, where your axis has a surplus of spin, or a surplus of energy, really. So I'm saying that this is a continual unfolding or process of becoming and journey. It's more entertaining than I can put to words. Yeah, there's gonna be great movies, especially with AI and people being able to, really incredible writers being able to work with generative AI to make even better writings. So there's gonna be movies, though, and the stuff's entertaining, but it's as entertaining as being enchanted with having, apparently, a human body. With everything that it can be doing right now, do you wanna be the filter or the source, right? The broadcaster or the wire, are watching it. And so it's time and place for everything. It's a new age. The future, the potential, and the human body, health, spirituality. I'm talking about in this video, and the video's gonna be off, though my life continues to improve. And I'll be back for the next video. I'll be forward. See you in the next one. And in between that time, what are you doing not booking a consultation or a day consultation or a breathwork session? And if you're not doing those things, what are you doing not at least checking out the music or the tattoo page, if you can even get a hold of me about it? So, almost was remiss to mention this diatomaceous GIF situation. Like I said in a video some days ago about precision nutrition, I'm off the wheat for sure. I still could have some though. I'm off the sugar for sure. I still could have some though. So I'm having it though, and then this is for the folks who have not started at all. This one's for the people who really just only began to learn or hear about parasites and stuff, right? This is for the people who had a bowl of Reese's Puffs yesterday, dog. This is for you, okay? Because I'm putting diatomaceous earth with the GIF. It says natural too. Oh, no, it is non-GMO. That's impressive. That's pretty great that it's non-GMO peanuts. But it's not the sticker. It's not the GMO. It's not the fancy graphic. I've never seen that. It's just non-GMO with a star on it. I don't even know what the star means. Okay, but this is for y'all who eating pizza and Take 5 and Kit Kats, Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Just put this in the Cinnamon Toast Crunch, and then get over to the Cascadian Farm or whatever organic Cinnamon Toast Crunch, and then get to the grain-free sort of like version of cereal because it exists. Meat-free, dairy-free, grain-free, sugar-free. Oh, wait, I said meat, dairy, grain, sugar. Well, yeah, just get off the grains. But wheat is a grain. That's the only thing. So there's the grain-free. So there's the cassava flour. There's almond flours. Okay, you can make stuff with that. Graduate to that direction. So that'd be more of like the whole plant vegan section of the phases. Or yeah, it's the whole plant vegan. You can't go further than whole plant vegan because it's processed or something. You know, it could be whole plants that are powdered or something and put in there. Whole cassava that's sort of, so it's counting as whole as, you know, a whole plant. I just said the whole plant vegan restaurant, but it's just a whole plant vegan food though. And then, you know, then there's just deeper fried versions. It's not as whole, it's just more processed stuff. Still counts. It's on the spectrum. It's all connected. So you got stuff like, you got the deep fried vegan here. There's like entertainment, you know, the junk food vegan, right? Then you got the whole plant vegan. You got the raw. Then you got the frugivore. You got the liquids. Frugivore also does smoothies. You got the liquids, juices, and the teas, and water, right? Okay. To the breath, to the water, the mineralization, to the breath, to your dreams and spiritual sides, and your soul's purpose, connection. Your soul's connected all the way to the vegan junk food. On a spectrum, though, if you're eating this and you're unaware of how it's connected to everything, you could be very lost. And it confuses the biochemistry in people mentally, because the biochemistry has all this trafficking in the system, and it's confusing. The mind is the body. I just said the mind is the body. So eating this with it not being connected to a greater scheme of how this is not the end game. You know, you're good. I'm saying this. If you know how to detox, you're fine, right? You eat what you want, but if you don't know how to take yourself through those processes, why are we not having a consultation that's booked? Like, why do I not have emails from you or DMs from you about this? Because once you know it, then you know it. I don't need, you know, that's ideal, right? You don't need to return for more than like maybe a one like accountability program service if we go beyond a consultation session, which, you know, and then this is why the consultation day is there, right? You should only really need one consultation day, and then yeah, we'll follow up and I'll work with you with accountability services. I shouldn't really need to do that past a certain point, because once you know how to, you know, take yourself in and out of toxification. And enjoy that, and then you see, you know, at the end of it, you know, nothing's really like a requirement to get in or out of, you know, wherever you want to be ultimately as a supreme being. Sort of, you could say that, though. It's maybe not even that. It's just these small homeopathic doses, right? You can revel in these small homeopathic doses, though. The self-control, the willpower, through fasting, and you find your true self or your true nature with the alignment with that principle as I am full. I don't need anything. I'm complete, right? So you see folks strung out meal to meal, needing to eat stuff in order to feel like themselves or who they think they are before they can do stuff or can do what they think that they're doing. When in reality, if you don't know about the vehicle, you can be doing all kinds of stuff in physical reality, but in hyperspace, you know, you could just be like, you look like a hamster. You literally look like a hamster on the wheel to higher dimensional beings who've came through the space already and mastered the waveform. It should be really easy for everyone to do. That's why I'm doing this. It's for y'all, okay? It really should be easy for children, especially children, to grasp this and see you still can have meat, wheat, dairy, and sugar still, though armed with this comprehension of precision nutrition that I am bestowing. You know, you can probably have a way more conscious and likely high quality experience with those things, the meat, wheat, dairy, and sugar, and all the crafts of those. You know, you could participate with the state craft, but you're not blindly going along to get along with all of the lost ones without, you know, you have a map. You know, these, you know, you hang out, it's cool, hang out with the lost ones all you want. But if you don't have a map, how are you even here right now? It's a miracle. You should really book a session. If you don't, I'll see you in the next video, maybe. Right? That's really how it is. You're just gonna keep watching these and not booking anything until I really make the point crystal for you specifically. This is the opportunity of a lifetime. For me to get to this level of comprehension again, if I had to start over, you know, which I wouldn't have to, you know, to get to say this. And this is just before the glow up, right? I'm still calibrating. Same message though, same system. It will be more calibrated, more accessible, but the price is probably gonna be up at that point. So I'm not saying prices are going up. For the OnlyFans they are. In January. It's January, February. So even the OnlyFans, so I'll leave that here. I almost forgot that, you know. So if you don't want to do a consultation or a day consultation or accountability service, there's OnlyFans. If you don't want to do that, you could hear some music without paying anything, you know. And there's other paid music too, because I'm bah. I'm gonna probably drop to this. Though, also breathing, staying available. It's fun posting these, and then come up with solutions for where I'm at. And then I'm in the active conversation with life and my soul through what I'm experiencing, and it's guided. And I'm waking up to more about how I'm the guider, right? The guider and the guided, or the guide, not the guider. That's funny. Because that's the responsibility of a spiritual awakening. Whole new level, whole new paradigm of productivity, stepping up out of the haze, dense fog of the counterproductive situation, the learned helplessness that's ingrained in the nervous system, this flinching and fear, this shrinkingness, this weakness that comes with that. Letting that go, you know, ideally it shows in the videos too, even the personas coming through, you know, more vibrant, the character, the charisma. It's becoming more of a prime factor in the general brand delivery. Word, and talk about self-editing. I won't keep this more than 1 minute, maybe, though. I'd say that it's like, it's really influence. It's being influenced by an environment that's saturated with the pheromones of anxiety and fear. And so I said your nervous system, the physiology, it contracts, and the self-editing that goes with that, the inhibition, the reduction, the dimming of the light, your expression is reduced so much. It's shrinking yourself because of the environment in your mind, that it can be altered. Your perception of the environment in your mind can be altered to be conducive to your authentic being flowing shamelessly. Right? I'm saying shamelessly. I'm not keeping this over 2 minutes. in general, though, look at the tone of voice, general demeanor in the last clip, and then this clip, here we are. In the volume, I'm saying I'm at like 20%. If there was a room filled with maybe like, say, 200, 300 people, I could speak. I'm speaking totally different. So again, this is calibration, the environment. Though who's to say you can't fully express who you are wherever you're at? Again, it's you and your mind and these enemies that you're not separate from, because you're creating them and they're causing you to self-edit and not be your true self, because it's the it's the turbulence, the emotional turbulence of that wake of fear in the mind, sure. And then these words still make sense, and I'm leaving it like this: authentic peace.